The homework for Tuesday has to do with the fact that we'll be doing peer review on Tuesday. So obviously you're going to have to write over the weekend parts of your paper and bring them in for Tuesday to get peer reviewed. Now, you should have your syllabus, and your syllabus will have exactly what you need to do for homework, but I'll give a little more explanation here. Okay, so if you flip to the second page of your syllabus, you will see that the homework is to write your 2 narrative paragraphs and a full thesis statement. Write at least an outline for the body paragraphs. This outline should include which author you'll compare your situation to, which situation of theirs you plan to use, and if the emotional reaction was the same or different. Now, if you want to go ahead and write your whole essay, introduction, 2 narrative paragraphs, all the body paragraphs, and your conclusion, by all means, go ahead. That's a really good way to prepare for an in-class essay if you get the prompt ahead of time. This is going to happen to you throughout college with philosophy courses, history classes, literature classes, even engineering, biology, chemistry. Your teacher, before a big midterm or final exam, a lot of times the teacher will hand you a list of, say, a bunch of essay questions, like maybe like 5 essay questions. And he'll say, okay, 1 or more of these is going to be on the exam. So what you should do is you should take all 5 of those questions and you should go ahead and answer them, full out, typing or writing by hand. That way you can know what you want to say. It's like practicing, right? You don't go out and play soccer without doing a whole bunch of practicing beforehand. Not only do you run and do fitness, not only do you, practice by passing and doing drills, but you practice by doing games, right? I mean, before football season, what do we have? We have actual full-length preseason games to get everyone ready. And that's what you should be doing for this essay. You shouldn't walk in cold to the essay. You should take the time to try and write the entire essay all the way beginning to end to fully prepare yourself. But for Tuesday, if you're not willing to do that for whatever reason, for Tuesday, you must have your 2 narrative paragraphs, okay? Your thesis statement, right? Because thesis is the biggest sentence in the entire paper, and you need an outline, including these 3 things, okay? You need an outline that has which author you'll compare your situation to, which situation of the authors you plan to use, and if the emotional reaction was the same or different, right? So that is basically an outline of your body paragraphs, okay? So you'll have to have 4 of those, 4, okay? So you'll need to say, I'm comparing myself to Sedaris. The situation of Sedaris I have chosen to compare myself to is when he first arrived at school. My emotion was different from Sedaris. I was excited when I got to my new place. Sedaris felt very nervous when he got to his. So you have to do that 4 times, okay? So you need to have the author. You need to tell us what situation of the authors you've chosen to compare yourself to. And you'll need to include the author's emotional reaction and your emotional reaction. So that's 3 things, okay? Now, on Tuesday, we'll be doing peer review. All you have to do is bring in 1 copy of your narrative paragraphs, thesis statement, and outline, okay? Because I think we're going to do just one-on-one partners instead of doing the big circles of 4 or 3 people. We're going to do one-on-one partners, and I'm going to let you choose your partners, okay? So start thinking in your mind who exactly it is that you would like to be partners with. And I'll have specific questions ready for you on Tuesday to answer about your partner's paper and to have, a real in-depth look at it. Y'all seem to like that for the Unit 2 essay when I prompted you with, like, really specific questions, rather than how we did it for Unit 1 where it was just kind of like, discuss, just discuss. No, but I'll have specific questions for you ready on Tuesday. And, of course, you should know, right, the more you write for Tuesday for peer review, the more feedback, the more accurate feedback you can get from the other student, right? And of course, as I've said, and I've tried to explain to you many times, the more effort you put into reviewing the other person's paper, the more you will get out of it, right? Because part of being a writer is not just doing the writing, it's writing, being able to analyze that piece of writing, and then to rewrite it, right? To revise it, okay? So that's the homework for Tuesday. Now on Thursday, of course, we'll be writing the essay in class. And what I want you to keep in mind is that we're going up to the writing center, right? So we can actually type them on the computer. There won't be any handwriting necessary. If you want to handwrite, you certainly may, but I think most of us will probably prefer a typing environment rather than a handwritten environment. And it makes my job easier because handwriting sometimes is really, really hard to read. Now, of course, for that, you will need to have some things with you, okay? The things that you will need with you are the essays by Sedaris, Hodgman, and Orwell. So that means you'll need your reading life with you, and then you'll need the printouts of Hodgman and Orwell, okay? So you need to bring the author's essays with you. That's so you can pull the quotes directly out of the text, so you can get direct quotes going while you're writing in class. Second thing you need to bring with you is a full introduction with your thesis statement. So full, intro paragraph all the way down to your thesis statement. And then, of course, the third thing you can bring is your 2 narrative paragraphs, okay? The 2 narrative paragraphs, I want you to write those beforehand, concentrate on them, get them to sound really nice, concentrate on your sentence variety and your word choice, get them very pretty, very nice, and bring those in with you. And the last thing you can bring in is your works cited page, right? Because I don't expect you to do that under pressure. You can go ahead, type the whole thing out, and bring your works cited page in. It should have at least 2 entries on it, right? Because you have to use 2 authors. It could have as many as 3, though. And the other thing to keep in mind is you cannot bring a blueprint in with you. Like, you can't bring anything else except for those 4 things in with you. You can bring a dictionary or a thesaurus if you like, but those 4 things, you can't bring more, and you have to have those things. If you show up on Thursday and you don't have your intro or your thesis or your narrative paragraphs or the author's essays, if you don't have those things with you, that lets me know that you haven't properly prepared and that you probably won't receive revision. Because if you're not going to prepare beforehand, then you're not really learning anything about the course, right? Writing is not just sit down and write. Writing is about thinking and preparing and getting ready for and writing and rewriting. And it's a progress, right? It's a slow progress. It's not just a sit down and boom, right? You can't do that. So if you don't show up with those things, you're probably not going to get revision. So just keep that in mind, okay? So Tuesday, peer review. Thursday, in-class writing.